Ball here on CBS. We're glad you've joined us. We're anticipating a good one. Two up-and-coming teams in the National Football League. From the 1-yard line, it's Autry Dempson. To the 20. 35 and out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line, and a fine return to get the Bears some terrific field position. 37 yards on the return, and there is Shane Matthews getting the start today. Starting quarterback Jim Miller with the hip pointer did not recover this week as expected, and so Shane Matthews gets the call, and he was terrific in relief last week.
He was, Greg. He started the season against the Baltimore Ravens. He got hurt his ribs, missed 3 weeks of practice time, comes in last week cold, runs the offense, very efficient, threw the football very well.
On first down, the handoff straight ahead, Anthony Thomas. And here's the offensive line.
The offensive line of the Bears, it's only given up 2 sacks this year. They are terrific.
In the backfield with Shane Matthews, Anthony Thomas and Damon Shelton. Des White and Marty Booker are the wide receivers, and Fred Baxter is the tight end. 2-yard pickup on the play. It's a 2nd and 8. 5 wide receivers as you look at offensive coordinator John Shoup. Loose football picked up by the Browns. Number 92 is Courtney Brown, and in his first start of the season, Courtney Brown scores a touchdown. To 14, less than a minute into the game. Courtney Brown picked up a Shane Matthews fumble and returned it for a touchdown. The Browns are on top 7-0, and here is Thomas. Those of you just joining us, here's the play. Wally Rayner in on Matthews, forces the fumble, and number 92, Courtney Brown, who has missed all of the action so far this season with a bad knee, makes a smashing return to the lineup.
Oh, gosh. I mean, you don't even dream those scenarios. We talked to Courtney Brown yesterday, very anxious to play, nervous about seeing his first live action. What a way to start.
Quick pass and overthrowing his intended receiver, Marty Booker, is Shane Matthews. A look at the Cleveland starting lineup. There's Courtney Brown on the right side. McKenzie's the other end. Gerard Warren and Orpheus Roy, some very physical defensive tackles.
And the linebackers for the Browns, Jameer Miller is having a terrific year.
In the secondary, on the corners, Dalen McCutcheon and Corey Fuller. Percy Ellsworth and Earl Little are the safeties. There's Foge Fazio, the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. He looks on as his Browns look at the Bears at a 2nd and 10, or 3rd and 3, excuse me. Matthews, quick screen this side. Thomas with running room. First down and more. Out of bounds at about the 40-yard line of the Browns.
The Bears do a tremendous job. They get all the receivers to the right that time. The quarterback drops back. You're thinking short pass. It's going to the right side. No, it's a screen to the left. And when you see plays like this, we had a chance to talk to John Shoup, the offensive coordinator. That is one of the reasons why the Bears quarterback only gets sacked. He's only been sacked 3 times this year because they're diversified, do a lot of different plays on offense.
Gives to Thomas, and Thomas is hit at about the line of scrimmage by Earl Little coming up from the safety position. After he picks up 2, it'll be 2nd and 8. And as you mentioned, talking with John Shoup, he's to say he's intense would be understating it a little bit.
Well, he has a good personality, Greg. We could tell, and I could tell by talking to him, when he stands up in front of that offense and addresses the team, they're going to pay attention to what he has to say.
Matthews has a tip at the line of scrimmage. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Earl Little. In the NFL, and they get one right off the bat here. And right away, the Browns spread the field on offense. Couch to throw. Has time across the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Quincy Morgan. So Tim Couch will look at 2nd and 10, and there is the 3rd-year quarterback out of Kentucky.
Well, I think the thing that's helped Tim Couch so much this year, a change in the offense for the Cleveland Browns. Bruce Arians comes from the Indianapolis Colts, the new offensive coordinator, has an offense that suits Tim Couch, throwing the ball short underneath, and when they go play action, that's when they go down the field looking for the big play.
On 2nd and 10, pass this side, and that's complete to James Jackson out of the backfield. Out of bounds just across the 35-yard line.
You look at the Cleveland offensive line, the problem they have so far, they've got to protect the quarterback better.
In the backfield with Couch, James Jackson and Mike Sellers, Kevin Johnson and Dennis Northcutt are the wide receivers, and the tight end is O.J. Santiago. Here's Bruce Arians. His son Jake, place kicker for the Buffalo Bills. 3rd and 3. The Browns have not excelled in this department the last couple of weeks. They get one here. That's complete to 85. Kevin Johnson, and Johnson across midfield and into Chicago territory.
It's an easy throw for the quarterback.
On 1st down. And James Jackson gets maybe a yard or two. We'll call it 2nd and 8. Ted Washington with the stop. Speaking of that Chicago defense, the big change for them this year, the two big guys in the middle, Keith Traylor and Ted Washington, about 600 and some pounds worth of tackles right there.
Yeah, I'd say you're understating it. The linebackers, Brian Urlacher, he is terrific, and so are the two outside linebackers.
In the secondary, McQuarters and Walt Harris. At the corners, Mike Brown made the game-winning return of an interception. And there's the man who runs the defense, Greg Block. Couch going to give this one to Jackson, and Jackson tries the left side. Comes up short of the 40-yard line. R.W. McQuarters coming up to help with the tackle along with Philip Daniels.
Now the Cleveland Browns, they're coming off their bye week last week, and we asked Butch Davis last night, well, Coach, what'd you do during your bye week? What'd you do with the team? He goes, you know, we're not very good, so we just work on everything. And we didn't work on the Chicago Bears. They went out in pads. They did some hitting each day. He runs at what, in NFL standards, very physical practices, worked on the running game, and worked on 3rd down conversions.
Couch from the shotgun on 3rd and 3. Jamel White is in as a wide receiver, flanked to the near side of the screen. Couch with time, throws, incomplete, batted down before it got to his intended receiver. Mike Green, number 43, made the play. 9:23 to play here in the 1st quarter. Anthony Thomas and Damon Shelton line up behind Matthews. Here's Thomas. And he spins for about 2 or 3 yards. And let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You can certainly say that Butch Davis has a touch when it comes to transforming teams. He did it in high school in Oklahoma. He did it in Dallas. He did it in Miami, and certainly here with Cleveland. He said it all begins with one thing. That's consistency, which leads to a vision. That vision says builds confidence in a team, better practice habits, self-esteem, devotion. With Butch Davis, he said, attitude is everything. Back to you.
Boy, we can vouch for the fact he brings a great attitude to this Cleveland Browns team.
He's got a little presence, doesn't he, when he walks into a room, the way he handles himself. Of course, he's a big man, too. That helps.
On 2nd and 7, Anthony Thomas getting a lot of work early on, cuts it upfield, and appears to have fought for enough for a 1st down. Percy Ellsworth, Anthony Henry make the stop, and we make our first visit to Jim. You cannot underestimate the accuracy of a field goal kicker. I think Bill Cowher would probably vouch for that today, wouldn't he?
Does he still have one? No. 4 missed field goals by the
Thomas again. And Thomas is wrestled down behind the line of scrimmage. That is the 7th touch for Thomas on the 10th offensive play of the day for the Chicago Bears.
Well, Greg, you said it. When you look at the Browns defense, they're 20th in the league against the rush. The one thing they do in pass defense, Butch Davis said, look, I don't have any stars in the defensive backfield, but man, we're getting some interceptions, and we saw that. They got their 14th interception of the year already against Shane Matthews.
Now the Bears spread the field. 4 wide receivers, 2nd and 11. And now Matthews moves up under center. Quick drop. Throws this way. Has it complete to Des White. And White out of bounds across the 25 to about the 27 or 28-yard line. Anthony Henry ran him out of bounds.
Well, the one thing I think this Bears offense it does have, it has some playmakers. They have the running back in Anthony Thomas, but Des White, when you watch him run routes and catch the football, he is fast, quick, and you got to be careful because he's one of those receivers, catch that short pass, and he can make a big play out of it.
3rd and 3, and the Bears need the 30-yard line for a first down. Matthews throws it this way, complete, and reaching for the first down is Anthony Thomas. The question is, did he get there? Anthony Henry coming up to make yet another hit. He does have enough for the first down.
That play really illustrates why it's so hard to sack the Chicago Bears quarterback. Shane Matthews looked to his right and immediately turns to his left, finds Anthony Thomas coming out of the backfield. Nice tackle by Henry, but still just enough for the first down.
Mike Shoup told us what they like to do early is slow down the pass rush by throwing little screens early on. He didn't throw one early enough to stop Courtney Brown and Wally Rayner. First down, Bears. Matthews, incomplete. That pass intended for Marty Booker and Wally Rayner, who got a game ball from Butch Davis for his play the last time the Browns took the field and beat the Baltimore Ravens.
That's what I was going to say, Greg. Watch Wally Rayner, number 58. Nice read. Sees the receiver coming across, looks at the quarterback, and makes a nice hit against Marty Booker. And I thought maybe Wally Rayner, he might be the weak link of these linebackers for the Browns, but the last 2 weeks playing very well.
2nd and 10. Thomas leading his way to the 35-yard line, and a little pushing and shoving between Brockermeyer and his opposite number on the Cleveland Browns.
Well, we had a chance to talk to Anthony Thomas on Friday, and enjoyable, the rookie, and it was interesting to him. I said to you, what did you expect when you came in the National Football League? He goes, well, I thought I'd come in, try to fit myself into the team, and maybe late in the year I'd get some runs, get a little bit of action at the running back position. No, this is not college, Anthony. This is the pros. They throw you in there right away, especially when you're a high draft pick.
Thomas with 50 total yards so far today. Quick pass over the middle, and that's complete to Fred Baxter, the tight end, and that's enough for another Bears first down. 6-yard pickup on the play. Now, Fred Baxter is a guy seen last week in the victory over San Francisco, having words with John Shoup on the sideline, and John Shoup said, you know, I like players to come and give me their opinion, and as a matter of fact, Fred Baxter made a couple of big catches down the stretch and in overtime.
Yeah, but he also said to us, there's some of them I listen to and some of them I don't, because there's a group of them don't know what they're talking about. They're always open.
Matthews rolling this way, looks, throws, overthrows everybody, and a penalty marker is down.
When it gets out of a quarterback's hands, thrown into a little breeze, and that's always a factor too, especially early in the game for a quarterback.
First down, Bears, the pitch to Thomas. Thomas trying the right side. There's another marker down as he gets to midfield. And this is going to be against the Bears. Backs the Bears up to their own 37-yard line. It's 1st and 20. Matthews play fake. Throws out here to the side, and Thomas had it and dropped it.
Very seldom do you see an NFL player drop the football when they're really looking it in. They always drop it because they're trying to decide, where am I going to run once I catch it? And watch Anthony Thomas. Look at his head. Oh,
actually,
yes.
He was looking up and down a little bit.
Would you think I was lying?
Oh, no.
You know, you got to trust me. I know these things.
2nd and 20. Thomas wrapped up that time by Orpheus Roy, number 99. You know, it's funny, as I sit back and think about what Butch Davis was telling us about Courtney Brown. He was saying, you know, it's his first game, it's his first action. We really don't expect too much of him.
Yeah, okay. Well, how about a touchdown? Did you expect that from your defensive end? And Courtney Brown, as you look at him, Jameer Miller has a nickname for him. It's called the Machine, because he is so physically gifted. Can run, he's strong, agile. He is a difference maker on a defense.
3rd and 19. Matthews out of the shotgun. Has all kinds of time. Throws over the middle, and it's intercepted. Brant Boyer, number 52, picks himself up and returns to about the 42 or 43-yard line of the Chicago 42. James Jackson, the lone back behind Couch. Play fake. Couch throws over the middle, in and out of the hands of Kevin Johnson, his intended receiver. And let's check in with Jim Nance in New York. 2nd and 10 for Couch and the Browns. Coming this way is Jackson, and Jackson is hit hard at the 43.
As you were watching that play, you saw Tim Couch come up to the line of scrimmage, and he's checking off, changing the running play. And let's look at number 54, Brian Urlacher. Just too much speed sometimes for offensive linemen to get out there and block him.
You look at the numbers on Brian Urlacher, certainly a budding star. And, you know, anytime you can play the middle linebacker position here in Chicago, the fans are going to be behind you. Jamel White and Aaron Shea in the backfield as Couch works. Ball tipped as he let it go, and it's incomplete. And here comes Thomas. Across the 15 out to about the 18-yard line. Coming into this game, the rookie out of Michigan led the league in yards per attempt, coming in at 5.9 per carry.
Well, good offensive line, and something we just saw in that last play that the Bears like to do. Their wide receivers are all big, physical kind of guys. They can catch the ball over the middle and all that, but they are expected to block. And that time, the wide receiver, they have to come in motion a lot of times, and they have to block big defensive ends, and they do a very good job of it.
On 2nd and 7, Matthews over the middle, incomplete, intended for Thomas. Now, speaking of defensive ends, saw Keith McKenzie carted off. They are going to x-ray his left ankle, and we'll update you as soon as we know more. Dick Duran looking for something to kickstart his offense.
Well, he's looking at his offense and going, wow, this is not as smooth as it was last week. We were pretty much going up and down the field. Well, the difference is this week, Cleveland being a little more aggressive, really getting up on the receivers, not giving Shane Matthews room to drop the ball off to his 2nd and 3rd receiver.
5 wide receivers on 3rd and 7. Matthews going to go down the field, has a receiver open, and he's got it. Des White to midfield and more, and it's a first down for Chicago. 33 yards on the play, and a perfectly thrown ball by Shane Matthews.
Well, Greg, the one thing they do, just look at the lineup. You got 4 receivers to the right for Chicago. They get Des White, just him and the defender down the field against Anthony Henry. Shane Matthews sees it, says, hey, I got half the field with Des White against Anthony Henry. Makes a good decision and makes a perfect throw.
33 yards on the play. First down for the Bears at midfield. Back to the ground game. Thomas trying to kick it outside and maybe got a yard. Dwayne Rudd, Jameer Miller with the stop, 2nd and 9.
You know, you see a lot of different things every week in the NFL, but 4 receivers to one side and one by himself on the other. I see that about 2 times a year. So the Chicago Bears, John Shoup designing something new. Cleveland makes an adjustment, and the Bears get what they want.
Shane Matthews pressed into service last week. Outstanding effort coming on in relief of Jim Miller, who suffered a hip pointer. Didn't recover well enough this week to play or to start today. So Matthews gets the call. The pitch for Matthews. Blockers in front of him as he tries to turn the corner and slips down short of the 50-yard line. And is the hard-charging point man of that Cleveland defense. 3rd and 10. Matthews evades the rush, but doesn't elude Greg Spires, number 96. NFL.com. On first down, Couch with time, throws over the middle, and that's complete to the tight end, O.J. Santiago, across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. 7-yard pickup, and it'll be 2nd and 3.
Now, see, I'm trained. I've done so many Indianapolis Colts games over the year, and I know Bruce Arians comes from Indianapolis, so when Tim Couch makes a play-action fake, I'm looking down the field because I know they're trying to make a big play. Now, that's twice they've run play-action, and 2 times there has been a receiver open down the field, but Tim Couch has not seen him.
Now, Bruce Arians did tell us that we will take our shots down the field. He says he likes to go deep at least 5 times a game. On 2nd and 3, coming this way is James Jackson, cuts it back and getting up to the 30-yard line and enough for a first down.
Now, when you see Tim Couch come to the line of scrimmage and call out a play, what they're doing and what they like to do, they don't want to put all the pressure on the play caller, and that's Bruce Arians. So he gives Tim Couch what they call a check with me. It's usually 2 runs and a pass. He comes to the line of scrimmage, decides which play is the best, and calls it for the offensive unit.
You saw guard Chris Villarreal headed off to the locker room with what appears to be a leg injury. We'll check on that. First down for the Browns at the 30-yard line. It's just their 2nd first down of the day. Couch batted at the line, and it falls incomplete. Ted Washington got a paw up to knock that down. 3 years in San Francisco, 1 in Denver, 6 with Buffalo in his first season here in Chicago. And Ted Washington has made an impact.
Got it with his arm. See, it helps to have arms that are about a foot wide. But Ted Washington, one of the big reasons he said to us, he goes, hey, this defense, we can be awesome. And this is from a veteran player who knows what it takes to have a good defense.
2nd and 10. Here comes the Bears blitz. The give is to the right side. Jackson can't cut it back, and he's down at about the 28-yard line. Brian Robinson, number 98, the defensive end on that side, led the charge.
Well, the Bears that time crowd the line of scrimmage. It's a blitz. Look at all the defenders up there. The Browns, they do not have a lead blocker, so there cannot be much deception when it comes to the running game. When the running back goes to the right, there's where it goes. You can't, nobody's going to be cutting back going to the other side, and the Bears terrific at pursuing the football.
3rd and 12. Couch throws this side. That's complete to Jamel White out of the backfield and comes up short of the first down at the 38-yard line. He's about 2 yards shy. Tony Parrish made Anthony Thomas, Damon Shelton. As you take a look at the advantage the Bears enjoy in time of possession and plays run, but they trail on the scoreboard 7-0. And that play doesn't get very much of anything as Mark Smith and Jameer Miller combined for the tackle after a 1-yard gain. Well, you know, we've heard so much about, there's Kevin Doggins, who has come on to replace Chris Villarreal. Villarreal, we are told, suffering a strained right hip. We've heard so much about this Chicago offense, and Shane Matthews told us the other day, hey, I'm a dink and dunk guy.
That he is, so he is playing in the offense that is for him because they do a terrific job with the short passing game.
Throws at this side, and his arm was hit as he let go. And number 99, Orpheus Roy, came out of the pack celebrating, so we're going to assume he got the hit on Shane Matthews' arm.
And it's hard to dink and dunk when you're getting pressure from the defensive line. In Chicago, only 2 sacks this season coming into today's game, but Shane Matthews, he has seen more pressure in the first quarter and a little bit of the second quarter than he did all of last week against the San Francisco 49ers. Sacked twice, hurried, knocked down a couple times, and when that happens to a quarterback, that leads to bad decisions because all of a sudden you go, I got to be quicker, and the quicker you are, sometimes the worse your decision making can be.
From the shotgun on 3rd and 9, got a hand on him and down he goes.
Now
the Chicago Bear quarterbacks sacked twice all season. Just under 10 minutes to play here in the first half. The Browns with a 7-0 lead. Jackson, right side, spins off of a tackle and is down at the 39-yard line. After all is said and done, it'll be a 2-yard gain. Brian Urlacher with the stop, and let's check in with Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, 5 wins in a row. A lot of talk in this town about the Bears defense and comparisons to the great 1985 team. Well, defensive coordinator Greg Blasch kind of put the kibosh on that on Monday when he walked into the team meeting with a gas mask on his face, basically saying to the defense, you guys stink, especially after giving up 31 points to the San Francisco 49ers. Greg, back to you.
Yeah, Armin, it is a little early for most sane-thinking people to begin making those comparisons. Jackson again. Jackson is going nowhere as he is dropped back at the 45-yard line. Phil Daniels, number 93, led the charge.
Well, when your defense can just line up and single-handedly win the football game for you, then you compare it to the 85 Bears, because that's what they could do. But there are some players in this Bear defense now that could have started for that team and who had the ability to be what we say difference makers. They can make big plays that determine the outcome of a game.
Cleveland Browns have managed just 12 rushing yards on 7 attempts. Couch from the shotgun, steps up, throws, has it batted at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete.
Boy, and I can see why the Browns talked about this third down defense. Tim Couch, you better be glad this ball was tipped by Philip Daniels, because it's going to be picked off. Throwing back across the green, defenders were running to the receiver.
Chris Villarreal is back on the field for the Bears at right guard as Chicago takes over at its own 12-yard line. Matthews on the roll. On the comeback, he hits his man across the 25-yard line, and that's Marty Booker. Booker's first catch of the day, and that's good for a first down for the Bears. Marty Booker, we talked with on Friday. I think the first thing you pointed out is those are the biggest hands I've ever seen on a receiver.
Right. No wonder you have good hands. Physical-looking receiver. You can see that he's built over 200 pounds. It's one of the reasons why he can go over the middle and catch those tough throws.
Thomas running across the 30 to the 34. Mark Smith made the tackle. The bad news for the Cleveland defense. Defensive end Keith McKenzie, a fractured left ankle. He will not return today.
Well, the Chicago Bears offense, they believe the reason they're having success is being physical, and that means running the football. And this offensive line only giving up a couple sacks coming in today's game. A big reason for that. Hey, you're on defense. You better dig in and try to stop.
And Browns brought with him to the stadium today. 2nd and 2. And that physical nature that you were just talking about, I'm going to prove to you again that every once in a while I do listen to you.
I know you do.
Because
every once in a while.
I do recall you saying that if there's one way an offense can really make an imprint on a defense, if you can run the football successfully, it just wears them down.
Well, it does. It does a lot of things. But the biggest thing it does, it allows an offense now to dictate what they want to do. And John Shoup, the offensive coordinator, he has a wonderful phrase, conflict of assignment. That's what happens to a defense when you run the ball.
Matthews over the middle, complete over midfield to number 83, David Terrell, the rookie out of Michigan. And now penalty markers fly.
But Greg, you talked about it. They run the football with power. Now all of a sudden, Shane Matthews has the time to throw it. Nice catch by David Terrell. And then Earl Little, number 20, gets him down.
And then the taunting afterwards. He was untouched.
Oh, you know, you just cannot do that. And that's a new rule in the league, and it's been terrific this year. You don't see it too often, but when you do it, the officials are going to throw that flag.
So from the 31, Thomas turning the corner, left side, 20, 15. Penalty marker is down, back at about the 33-yard line. Tackle Blake Brockermeyer, being sure that Thomas could turn that corner.
Well, a couple things. Watch Brockermeyer, number 78. Oh, just that last little bit. He grabbed the jersey of Tyrone Rogers, number 78. He had him blocked.
Over here.
He was not going to get off that block and make the tackle, but hey, the thing that jumped out at me, Anthony Thomas, he's got a step, and he went around that end awfully easy.
So that'll back the Bears up to the 41-yard line, and they're looking at a 1st and 20. We are under 6 minutes to play for the first half. Matthews, quick pass to the side, and that's knocked down by Tyrone Rogers.
Chicago does throw a lot of the quick screens to the outside.
2nd and 20. Matthews underneath, complete to Des White. And White wrestled down at the 35-yard line. Wally Rayner and Earl Little making the stop after a 6-yard pickup.
Well, that's what they're really good at, this Bears offense, sending people down the field. Look at it. Marty Booker goes up the field. Des White goes all the way underneath the umpire, picks up the short gain. You want to catch,
you go down and cut right at the umpire.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you want to catch passes in this league now as a wide receiver. You're going to take some big hits, especially when you run short ones over the middle.
3rd and 14. Bears need the 21-yard line for a first down. Matthews pulls it down and now goes deep and overthrows everybody. 7-0 as Couch works from his own 1-yard line with the fans right in his ear. He's going to throw. That one's complete to Santiago out to the 19 or 20-yard line and a first down. Plenty of time and 2 timeouts remaining. Couch looking, trying to spin out of trouble and goes down at the 13-yard line. Philip Daniels again applying the pressure for the Bears.
Well, that was just good coverage down the field that time, Greg, and Tim Couch had time to throw it. He's going to look back to his right for the deep receiver, Kevin Johnson. He's not open, and Philip Daniels pulls him down.
Loss of 7 on the play, 2nd and 17 as we come up on 4 minutes to play in the first half. Couch with a bullet. That's complete to Kevin Johnson.
Now, you know, last night, Greg, we had a chance to talk to Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator for the Browns. Him and Greg Blasch, defensive coordinator for the Bears, worked together in Indianapolis. And remember what he said? Oh, I know what Greg wants to do. He just wants to slap us in the mouth. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to kick us. And he goes, then on 3rd downs, he's going to be creative and try to confuse the young players on the Browns offense.
Nice to know what your opposite number is up to.
Exactly.
Jamel White in on 3rd and 10. Couch, quick pass to the far side, complete to Kevin Johnson, and Johnson is brought down shy of the 25-yard line. Warwick Holdman and Walt Harris make the stop after a 5-yard gain, and so the Browns have to kick it.
Not a lot of easy opportunities for either quarterback so far.
Bears with all 3 timeouts remaining. Matthews going to throw far side, complete, nice grab by Des White. Across midfield and out of bounds after a 16-yard pickup.
Boy, he just snatched that out of the air. Des White comes under a little scrutiny sometimes because he will drop a pass. He dropped a few when he was at Georgia Tech, but when you watch him on film or you see him in person, the one thing that jumps out, he is one of the few wide receivers that can really create a lot of space between him and the defensive back. That's a quarterback's best friend.
The pitch to Thomas. Thomas, nowhere to go, dragged down at the 45-yard line.
Trying to stop a player of his quality, and it just opens up opportunities for other defensive players.
Matthews running out of time and now throws out of the backfield is Thomas, and look at Thomas across the 45 to the 37, and he appears to have enough for a first down.
Boy, that's just a nice job. That's a veteran quarterback who sees the defense. All the players drop back, and he just shuffles in the pocket and waits till Anthony Thomas gets out, dumps it off, and picks up a first down.
Well, you were right about his speed. He can accelerate on first down. Thomas again. Thomas to the 30, 25, 20, and run out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That's another first down.
Boy, Anthony Thomas just has the look of a football player that's been in these situations many times, carried the football at Michigan, and just comes in and adjusts to the pro game right away. This time Cleveland comes with a blitz, nobody there to pick him up, reads the block. Just all the little things, does them very well. And Fred Baxter, number 84, makes a nice block on Dwayne Rudd.
Prior to this, the deepest penetration by the Bears had been the 31-yard line of the Browns.
Like any team, you got to be able to run the football too. When you have double threats down near the goal line, that's why you're a good red zone offense.
Here comes Thomas to the 10. Rogers and McCutcheon coming up for the tackle after a 3-yard gain. And the Bears are looking at a 2nd and 7, and the clock continues to move.
Don't even give Cleveland a chance for a 2-minute drill.
Matthews to throw. Thomas diving forward to about the 6-yard line. And the Bears call timeout. 3rd and 5. Matthews throws, coming across, has it complete to Marty Booker. And Booker, looking for first down yardage, appears to have it.
Now that time, the Bears did so many different things before the snap that I just lost sight of everything they were doing. And then he threw it to Marty Booker. I didn't even know where he came from. They got motion to the right. They shift to the right. He looks to the right, and who's he throw it to? A receiver coming underneath from the left. And that's what a defensive player sees too. They see all the action to the right side. They see the quarterback. They think, well, he's going to throw it over here. No, Marty Booker comes underneath.
Thomas, the lone back. Matthews rolls, looks back the other way, now throws and batted down at the goal line. Anthony Henry, the 4th-round draft pick, batted it down at the goal line.
That's just good defense by the Cleveland Browns. Don't take a chance when you're down in this close. And real fortunate again, Shane Matthews, that's not picked off. But the initial play was made to throw to a wide receiver quick into the flat. The Browns knew it. They took care of it. And Shane Matthews had nowhere to go.
Matthews now 5 out of 6 on this drive. 2nd and goal from the 2. Looks right, waiting, and throws it away. It'll be 3rd and goal.
David Terrell is really upset. I heard him yelling at Shane Matthews because look at this. It's him and Anthony Henry one-on-one, and right from the start, I thought Shane Matthews would throw it to him right away because he saw that they're one-on-one, nobody else out there to help. Terrell is a big receiver, but Shane Matthews went to the other side.
10th play of this drive, 3rd and goal. Thomas, touchdown. Two-yard touchdown for Anthony Thomas, his 4th of the season.
Terrific job in the drive, but the offensive line just gets the push. Look at some of those blocks. Olin Krutz, the center, terrific job. And Anthony Thomas goes in almost untouched.
And Dick Duran on the sideline. That's about as much emotion as you'll catch from. They haven't even gotten to that so far. They'll start it off with Jackson for about 2 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 9 as the, or make it 3, 2nd and 7 as the wind picks up a little bit.
Yeah, it is blowing in here, Greg. But a couple things. Bruce Arians, remember when he told us last night? He says, hey, I'd like to try to make more big plays on first down, go down the field. But what stops me, he goes, we're not that good in offense, so I can't always put us in 2nd and 10 if we miss that pass. So the fact that they're a little worried about their offense hurts their creativity and their big playability too.
Couch on 2nd and 7, looks both ways and now throws over the middle and has his man Northcutt. And Northcutt inside the 45-yard line. That'll be a first down. And what Butch Davis readily admits when we struggle offensively, it's our offensive line. We're not big enough to blow people off the line of scrimmage.
That's right. He'd like, well, he was at University of Miami for years, so he's used to getting 8 yards a run. It's a little different here, but the offensive line, not the strong point for the Cleveland Browns. He knows that, so they do a lot of things to try to protect that.
First down at the 40-yard line. Here comes the blitz, but they keep it on the ground. And Jackson finds running room inside the 35 to the 32. Tony Parrish with the stop.
Now with Keith Traylor and Ted Washington on the inside of your defensive line, Butch Davis says last night, I think we can run it up the middle. And I look at him, well, you're kidding me, right? He goes, no, I like our matchups inside. We can get those big guys moving just a little bit and cut it back up inside. And that time, James Jackson did exactly that.
That 8-yard run, Jackson's longest run today. And a 2nd and 2. Jackson again, and he tries the middle, and this time it doesn't get much as Ted Washington combines with Tony Parrish for the stop.
Well, Ted Washington, I didn't even ask him his weight yesterday. We had a chance to talk to him. Number 92. You think, well, he's just a big guy. He's going to stand there and take the blocker on. But every once in a while, like that time, he's quick enough and a good enough athlete to go around the blocker and make the tackle for a short gain.
And let's be honest, we don't want to say anything to offend Ted.
I was not going to ask him his weight because he's a big human being. Even by NFL standards, he's large.
Browns just 1 out of 6 on 3rd down today. Give it to Jackson. Jackson tries the middle, and he does not get to the 30-yard line.
Well, when you try to run straight ahead and block straight ahead against Keith Traylor and Ted Washington, they're almost impossible to move. Watch both of them, 92 and 94. Keith Traylor comes around, but Ted Washington gets underneath, pushes into the backfield, and just creates a mess. And look, it makes a tackle too. What a play. 4th down, no doubt Cleveland is going to go for it.
Tim Couch still on the field. Butch Davis looks on. Couch going to throw for it. Across the field, has a man wide open, and he hits number 81, Quincy Morgan, inside the 5-yard line. It's a 1st and goal.
I wanted to yell at you, Greg. They've run this play twice today. One coming out from the goal line. He threw it to O.J. Santiago. This time, you're going to see Quincy Morgan come across the field. There he is. Nobody on the backside. Walt Harris has him man for man. Tough to cover a wide receiver going across the field and through traffic.
Quincy Morgan, a rookie, their 2nd-round draft choice out of Kansas State, and the Browns with 1st and goal.
Could it be a quarterback draw?
Couch looks both ways, throws, touchdown. Penalty marker is down. Mike Sellers made the catch. And right away, Anthony Thomas will go back to work out to the 35-yard line. Let's go back to the big play that Tim Couch and the Browns offense came up with on 4th down.
Well, it's a couple things. Watch Quincy Morgan. He comes across. Tim Couch is going to look over here. If nobody's deep, that's going to be his first read. So go ahead and run the play, and they give the receiver a little running start. So now it makes it awfully hard for the defensive back to cover him all the way across the field. Quincy Morgan makes the catch. That's the exact same play coming off the goal line where Tim Couch was covered, and then he threw the long pass to the right side to O.J. Santiago.
2nd and 7. Here comes the blitz. Quick pass this side, and that's complete to Marty Booker. And Booker loses football, and it bounces out of bounds. .9:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. Thomas.
Anthony Thomas.
For 1, maybe 2, call it a yard, and 2nd and 9.
Foles Fazio, he's like a quarterback. Look to on his left arm, you can see all the defensive signals. Look at that. Haven't seen that too often from a coach. And he's pretty smart, though. Got some gloves on. He's going to stay warm while he's making those defensive calls.
Matthew throws up the seam, has his man inside the 40-yard line. Marty Booker with the grab. 16 yards and a first down.
Now, the Bears have an interesting philosophy when it comes to doing offense against the blitz. That time the Cleveland Browns blitz, instead of trying to keep people in and protect the quarterback, they just send them out sometimes. And they say, look, if you're going to send guys, you can't cover all our receivers down the field. The quarterback has to get rid of it quickly. He does that time, and Marty Booker makes a tough catch.
28 yards on receiving on this one. This one tipped and falls incomplete. And that was Courtney Brown.
I know one thing, I'd quit running that play. Because that's twice it's been hit up in the air. Those are game changers if that gets intercepted. And they do that. The Bears do that. Like some teams run reverses so a team won't over pursue against your run game. They do that in their passing game so the defensive linemen won't rush too hard at the quarterback. They got to make them think, but the Browns are ready for it.
Thomas avoiding tackles inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. He'll be about 2 yards shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Let's see, Anthony Thomas, he's caught the football today. He's picked up a blitz a couple times. He's ran for tough yards. He's read blocks well. And now Greg Lloyd was left. He showed his really good feet that time, running around would-be tacklers and just picking up extra yards.
121 total yards on the day for the rookie.
I'm convinced he's pretty good.
Double tight end, 3rd and 2. Baxter in motion. Thomas trying to get to the 26-yard line, and he appears to be short. 4th and 1. Thomas gets the first down.
Well, I tell you, 4th and inches, you can just feel the tension everywhere with the fans. I feel it. I know the coaches do. But nice job in this situation. So hard to be patient. Fred Baxter with a nice block against Dwayne Rudd. Watch number 84. Gets the block. Anthony Thomas says, hey, I only need a couple inches. Gets inside to get a yard.
First down from the 29. Thomas again. Ducks inside to the 21. You know, we've talked about the little get up and go that Thomas has, but he has such power when he runs into some resistance.
Yeah, he's got that good NFL running back body, that it's built for power, not too tall, so there's not a lot of target to hit for the defenders. And
well, the fans like him here, and over the years they have seen some pretty fair running backs in the Chicago Bears uniform. Thomas again to about the 18.5-yard line. Clock continues to move. We're under 5.5 as you take a look at Anthony Thomas for his games in October.
That's pretty good.
You bet.
Boy, look what he's done today. Rushing and receiving. Now to be a great back in the NFL, you've got to be a pass receiver as well as a good runner too.
Brant Boyer at middle linebacker for Wally Rayner. 3rd and 4. Matthew looks, batted up in the air, and it's intercepted. Yes, indeed, it was intercepted. The Browns say they have it. Ball hit Gerard Warren in the helmet and popped straight up into the air. Bear drive is halted deep. And on the right side, James Jackson, and Jackson on the move out to the 25-yard line. Mike Brown finally dragged him down.
Well, you've seen Edgerrin James run this play 1,000 times for the Indianapolis Colts. It's the stretch play. Run it outside, run. and then you decide as a runner when to cut it back up inside. And James Jackson, terrific job that time.
So once again, the Browns escape.
Hey, their offense coming out from their own goal line is good.
Out to the 25 and a first down. Couch on the move and throws it away. That was one of those play fakes that we were talking about with Bruce Arians yesterday. And in fact, you'll see, you were talking about Edgerrin James, you'll see Peyton Manning do that, and he'll say the toughest thing in the world is to turn your back, if you're a quarterback, to the defense and trust that the blocking is getting done behind you.
Yeah, he said Tim Couch had a real problem with that at first. As a quarterback, you're always taught, watch the defense, react off what they're doing. But when you're making those play fakes, you just got to have faith in your offensive line. They're going to pick up the pass rushers, turn your back to the defense, make them think it's a run, then try to look downfield for the big play.
And you know what? That time he turned around and saw a couple of Bears chasing him. Couch, play fake again, throws over the middle, has his man out to the 44-yard line. That's Dennis Northcutt, and that's a first down.
Well, that's the play action passes, Greg. That's how Cleveland can get it down the field. This allows even a pulling guard that time to make the defense think it's a run, but that's how you allow your quarterback the extra time to sit back there and read and throw the football down the field. You do it with play action passes.
Tim Couch said during the offseason he specifically worked on play fake and ball handling.
Well, if you think coaching is not the most important thing in this league, yes, I know you need players.
Couch gonna go deep. Caught! Kevin Johnson. Touchdown!
R.W. McQuarters got the tip on the football. Either that or he's got some ice on it because it's kind of hot right now.
Just over 3 minutes to play, and the Bears go back to the ground game. And look at Thomas out across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. Let's go back to Tim Couch.
Well, you know, Greg, a couple things. Talking to Butch Davis last night, what did he say? He left Miami to come to Cleveland because he goes, the environment, football in Cleveland, he goes, it's a religion. And then we talked about a few other things, and he goes, oh, and also they got a quarterback, Tim Couch. He goes, that had a lot to do with my decision because to find franchise quarterbacks or quarterback that the team and everybody believes in, they're hard to find. He knew Tim Couch was that type of quarterback, and he likes what he has seen so far this year.
Matthew, quick pass, incomplete, under pressure from Greg Spires. Fred Baxter was the intended receiver.
And you know, even though Chicago's on offense, but one other thing about Tim Couch, I meant to say it earlier when he made that long throw and I couldn't get to it. If you think coaching is not important to players and especially to quarterbacks, Greg, you said it, the change in offensive philosophy, it fits him. And like he said, Bruce Arians, a quarterback coach, he goes, Phil, if I make a bad throw and it gets away from me, Coach Arians can go, Tim, your foot was here, you did this wrong. And he goes, I can correct things as the game goes along.
Matthew goes down. Another sack by the Cleveland Browns. And Courtney Brown comes up with the fourth one of the day for Cleveland.
Wow, what was the clue that it wasn't you?
From the 35, Couch is brought down. Roosevelt Colvin, number 59, made the sack.
I couldn't even get it out of my mouth, but if the Chicago Bears want to get back in this game, their defense is going to have to start making plays to set up its offense. And Colvin, we haven't heard from him today. You could see the speed coming off the corner. Gets to Tim Couch before he can do anything. Fortunate just to protect the football.
Now, you and I were just talking during the timeout. Tim Couch has been something of a magician when his team has been in trouble as far as field position goes, and the Bears have backed him up now to a 2nd and 18. Straight ahead is Jackson, and not much there at all. Robert Newkirk makes the initial hit. Ryan Robinson, number 98, helped.
Well, Greg, you know, the play call and a quarterback's decision here, you're up 21-7. You get sacked. Now you just got to go, let's get out of this series without making a really major mistake. Don't turn it over. Don't lose more yards. Your defense is playing well. know when to take chances in this game. That is a major part of winning and losing.
3rd and 17. Here comes the blitz. Cowell, quick pass, far side. That's complete to Aaron Shea, and Shea is hit hard at about the 31-yard line. Part of that pileup is due to the fact that Aaron Shea refused to go down.
He hit hard, but you have to say hit hard many times because there were a lot of Bear defenders running to that football.
Clock is moving up on the end of the 3rd quarter, and it appears the time will expire before.
Yeah, let it go because you're kicking into the wind. You wait till the 4th quarter, you do that.
But did you know that Chicago was first called the Chicago Transit Authority? Leon Johnson from inside his own 15, up the middle, 30, 35, and brought down close to midfield. Dwayne Rudd made the stop.
Leon Johnson was a terrific punt returner for the New York Jets, suffered knee injuries, and it's come back, and you can see that he is still a factor in the return. Nice move. And then he's probably the biggest returner in the National Football League, so he is going to break some tackles when he runs straight ahead.
Many times a team will get a spark from special teams. The Bears are hoping so here. They have the ball at their own 49-yard line. Great field position for Shane Matthews in the offense. Thomas into Cleveland territory to about the 48 or 47-yard line, and Dwayne Rudd with the stop.
Now, if you watched the game last week or if you follow the Chicago Bears, you know even though they get behind, last week they were down a couple touchdowns to the San Francisco 49ers, very patient with their play calling. They will continue to run the football, try to keep situations in their favor, so when they throw it, it won't be too difficult for the quarterback or the offensive line.
You see the numbers for the Bears versus their opponents in the 4th quarter. Thomas again. Thomas breaking to the outside, turns the corner, inside the 40, inside the 35, and almost to the 30-yard line. Stepped out of bounds back at about the 36. But he carried Anthony Henry for about 5 or 6 yards.
And you get a defense that's playing pass, trying to get after the quarterback they think, and watch Anthony Thomas when he breaks outside. Percy Ellsworth got his big arm to the face. Dwayne Rudd gets one. 2 good stiff arms. There's one to the helmet. Percy Ellsworth is a big safety. Anthony Henry gets it too.
First down, Bears at the 36. Thomas inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line.
Of course, Greg, I was going to say it's easy to be patient when you're clipping off 10 and 15-yard runs sometimes in situations like this when you're behind.
Well, as we asked Butch Davis, you know, which Chicago Bears team do you prepare for? The one that was evident in the first half against the 49ers, or the one in the second? And he didn't hesitate. Oh, it was the second half team that you look for.
Well, you always prepare for the best that you see from the other team, because you figure, hey, our luck is never good. We're going to see their best plays and best effort.
On 2nd and 8, Matthews with time down the middle of the field, incomplete. Des White, the intended receiver. Fans want a call. 33 or 34-yard line, make it. 3rd and 8. Matthews, quick pass. That's complete. 87 is Dwayne Bates with his first catch of the day. And he'll get to the 30-yard line, and they'll be about 4 yards shy of a first down.
Too far to kick a field goal, you go for it on 4th down. I think that was the Chicago Bears thinking as they were coming out of that timeout. Run a pretty safe play action. We don't get it. We'll go for it on 4th.
Plus, he'd be kicking into the wind here. Bears need the 26-yard line for a first down. Matthews is buried back at the 41. Guess who was in on Shane Matthews?
It's going to be hard for the Bears defense to come up with a turnover, because I'm sure the running backs are thinking, hold on to the football.
Jackson with room to run up the middle out to the 46-yard line. Brian Urlacher.
Playing today, they said. Of course, he goes out there and gets a sack. All of a sudden you say, hey, we need to play Courtney more.
Jackson hesitates and then busts it up to the 49-yard line. And let's check. 3rd and 1. The Bears could use a stop here, to say the least. Couch going to throw for it. Quick pass out here, and Sellers wasn't looking. Be some head knocking there. First down for the Bears, their own 20-yard line. Matthews goes to work through the air, up the middle, incomplete, and a penalty marker is down.
That is a personal foul.
That is the second personal foul on the Browns. To the right side, Thomas tucks it back inside. Another marker flies. Another marker flies, and Dwayne Rudd says this is holding against.
They don't have to.
Play fake. Matthews pulls up, throws. This time hits his man. Marty Booker holds the football and goes down, and Matthews gets off the turf. Back into the backfield. But what a grab and hold by Marty Booker.
And Devin Bush, number 23, is the one that hits Marty Booker. Watch this throw into such tight coverage. Devin Bush gets him, and Shane Matthews, Jameer Miller that time on the hit, is going to the ground more today than he has as a Chicago Bear quarterback this year.
2nd and 5. Thomas up the middle for 3. And Shane Matthews was telling us, this has not been an easy road for him physically. He has had his share of physical problems, and it goes further back than when he was knocked out at the beginning of the season.
Well, he's had a lot of problems. First thing he says, he walks into the room, he goes, "Look at me." And I look at him, he goes, "This is as big as I've been in my whole NFL career." I said, "How much do you weigh?" He was hedging, he says, "I weigh 200 pounds, but he has had a lot of physical ailments and overcome them, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's so calm about his play.
He stands in there and throws a strike down the middle of the field to David Terrell, and that'll be enough for a first down, and we check in with Armin.
Guys, you mentioned those physical ailments, and we all sat there kind of in shock when Shane told us about back in January of 2000 when he went in for this routine sports hernia operation that went terribly wrong. Ended up with an infection, several surgeries, resulted in this huge open wound the size of a softball in his chest, 4.5 months on his back, around-the-clock IVs. Finally recovers. He told us, "I didn't really care if I ever played again. I just wanted to get healthy." Greg?
Hey, Armin, thank you. Matthews play fakes and throws to the near side, and that's complete. Anthony Thomas out of the backfield with the catch. Shane was telling us, he's had that gaping hole in his abdominal area, and his wife had to help him. Nurses were coming to the house, and as Armin said, he really didn't know or care if he ever played football again at that point.
That's right. He was on constant IVs, Greg. He had a permanent one put into his arm, and gosh, when I sit there and listen to it, it is amazing that he hung in there and is able to come back and still be a quarterback in this league.
James Allen on the carry, and there's the penalty markers down all over the field.
4 linebackers and 4 defensive backs.
Straight ahead, Thomas, after a breather on the sideline, gets inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Clock continues to move, coming up on 7 minutes to play here in the fourth.
Rush and ruin what we're trying to do right now.
1st and 15. Play fake. Matthews. Pass is batted out of the air, incomplete. He was looking at Thomas coming out of the. Thomas. Bears were hoping he could pop a long one, but that hole closed quickly, courtesy of Jameer. 3rd and 20.
Right beside you. Right beside you.
Matthews over the middle, and that's batted and falls incomplete. 4th and 20. Matthews going to go deep down the sideline. Des White, his intended receiver, it's incomplete inside the 5. Anthony Henry was with him stride for.
6'4", 280 pounds, and runs a 4.5 or faster 40-yard dash, you got a chance to be an outstanding player with those qualities.
Jackson going to reverse his field and try the left side, turning the corner, and inside the 35, and the marker is down. This could be a block from behind. His return, Courtney's, all that much more important. 1st and 13. And Jackson to about the 48.
But I really like the way the Cleveland Browns play. Tim Couch does not resemble the quarterback we saw the first 2 years.
Keep it on the ground again. And Jackson is pulled down, and that defense has been superb, hands in the air after this game, except on the West Coast. 1st down for the Bears, or for the Browns, and the pitch to James Jackson, and he's brought down short of the 35-yard line. 13. Jackson again. Jackson becomes the workhorse to try to take time off of the clock, which is now under 3 minutes. And they're going to keep it on the ground again. And you know, it's really interesting. He made
the offense, yes, it had a rough day, but they have a lot of talent on offense. The running back, they got good wide receivers, a good tight end. The quarterbacks have played well.
Matthews to James Allen, and Allen out of bounds just across the 20-yard line.
So you can't let one loss get you down. You got to look at the big picture.
Matthews steps up, throws far side, and that is incomplete. Caught out of bounds by Marty today. Matthews going to come this way, and that's a juggling catch and out of bounds at the 47-yard line by Des White.
As we spent Friday with them, they were feeling so good about their football team, about this game. Nice week of preparation.
Pass underneath, complete to David Terrell, and Terrell inside the 45, and the clock continues to move.
And then you go, where did it go wrong? What did Dick Geron say to us on Friday? He goes, I don't know how to judge it. If you have a good week of practice, does it mean anything when the game starts and it goes along? I don't know.
Throws far side, and that's complete to James Allen, and Allen inside the 30. And we welcome those of you who watch the Washington Bears, hoping for the touchdown and then the onside kick. From the shotgun, Matthews throws, end zone. Incomplete. Fred Baxter, his intended receiver. Just 7 points to show for it on the board. 2nd and 5. Again, touchdown. Marty Booker. The 9-yard catch, and now the extra point to pull the Bears to within a touchdown.
Nice throw by Shane Matthews. The Bears go out of 3 receivers. The bunch that causes confusion. It leaves Marty Booker wide open in the end zone.
The Browns with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players on the near side of the field. Doesn't get a bounce. Oh, there's a high hop. It is a pile up inside midfield. Let's see who comes up with the football.
Well, there was the hop we were talking about, Greg. It came. It was on the 2nd hop. Usually it's one bounce and it goes up.
We're still waiting for a call. Bears ball.
Watch the ball. It does not take a good hop, so no Brown defender can come up and catch it. Now it goes in the air. Percy Ellsworth hits it. Jerry Azuma knocks it out of the hands.
And number 52 jumping on the pile is Bobby Howard, a first-year linebacker. Shane Matthews, a career-high 305 yards passing, looking to add to that. 24 seconds to play. The Bears with one timeout. Underneath, complete. James Allen. Allen looking for the sideline and is out of bounds at about the 43.
Oh, they had a chance that time. Fred Baxter was running up the field one-on-one with nobody behind, and it looked like a chance that maybe Shane Matthews, you got to look down the field. You're going to get 3 plays max, probably 2.
Bears tied the 49ers late last week, won it in overtime.
And the way you line up will determine now Cleveland's going to play a much better defense, more conservative.
Matthews, short flip to Allen. Allen tucks it inside, down at the 33-yard line. And the clock is stopped with 8 seconds to play as the Bears use their final timeout.
Forced to get the onside kick.
Bears are out of timeouts.
You got to take your time.
Steps up, gonna go for it all in the end zone. Jump ball. Caught! It's caught! James Allen was there for the tip.
Shane Matthews stepping up in the pocket, allowed the receivers to get in the end zone, create the tip for the catch by James Allen.
Hey, baby! That's not what he would.
We have a player down in the far corner of the end zone as you take one more look.
That is perfect execution. 3 receivers, jump, tip it in the air. Somebody trails the pack of receivers. That's how you teach it. Somebody has got to come in, the secondary person, James Allen. What a catch.
He fell on Marty Booker. As the Bears score their second touchdown in 32 seconds.
But Greg, it was
a nice sentiment.
You watch these games enough, if you give professional athletes like this just one chance, sometimes they're able to come up with the plays. The onside kick, the long pass, 2 incredible plays.
Those of you who watch San Diego and Kansas City, welcome to Soldier Field in Chicago, where we are underway in 2nd and 7. Matthews, play fake.
Wide open.
Pulls it down and now throws it away.
But Des White had his defender beat by 5 yards for about a 15-yard gain.
3rd and 7. Over the middle. That's complete. And this is White, and White is short of a first down at the 40-yard line.
I would think the Browns will come out with some type of play action and look to pick up big yards on the first play here.
Play action it is.
Got him wide open.
He's got him over the middle, and that's complete to Kevin Johnson. He's out of bounds across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. And delivered the football. First down.
That's the best thing he's done today. Very good at taking the hit and delivering the football.
Under the gun now and goes down. Number 59, Roosevelt Colvin, in for the sack along with Philip Daniels.
Colvin, number 59, on the outside. Oh, just a protection problem by the Cleveland Browns. Nobody there to pick him up. Nobody running the short route for Tim Couch to throw the football to.
Colvin with a breather on the sideline. 8 sacks in all for both teams. 5 by the Bears, 3 the Browns. Jamel White in the lineup now for Cleveland. Couch out of the shotgun. Throws, that's batted into the air. Intercepted, and the Bears are going to win it. Mike Brown has done it again. Brian Robinson appeared to get a hand on the football. And Mike Brown, the hero a week ago, does it on consecutive Sundays, and the Chicago Bears, with a 6-game winning streak, have beaten the Cleveland Browns 27-21.
Brian Robinson tipped that ball so far, it went all the way across the formation for Mike Brown to make the interception.
Courtney Brown, who played a terrific game defensively for the Browns, walks dejectedly off the field. The Chicago Bears scored 20 points in the last 3 minutes and 22 seconds to win it in overtime.